Today on my channel planner, friends, well, I have to work in my planner here, but I'm going to talk to you about giving yourself grace. Didn't have the easiest winter, spring's on the horizon, and I want to share with you some of the ways I give myself grace and thoughts about how we treat others often better than we treat ourselves. I'd love it if you join me, friends, so please stay tuned. Hello, planner friends, and welcome to my channel. I'm Win Crafty Dolo. Gosh, I'm happy you're here with me today. Thank you for the gift of your time, your presence. Let's have some creative fun today. If you're new, join my growing community. If you're returning, let's cheers with our mugs of tea, coffee, wine, whatever you've got, and pull up a chair and let's create. So today I'm going to flip through this planner and then I want to start decorating it for March. Spoiler alert, I'm behind, but that's okay. I'll show you in a minute. So I've grabbed some stickers. In February, I decided to decorate without using stickers. So I showed different ways of decorating. This month is going to be Sticker Fest. So we're going one way to the other. This is a classic happy planner. It's a goal planner. I use it for this channel. I also use it for writing. Lent is about to start, and I have worked on, I'm creating devotionals that are available for free on Medium. So they're out there. It won't be up for the first week of Lent by the time this drops, which is tomorrow. Today's Thursday. But anyway, so let's get into it, shall we? So here we go. This was January, and it was stickers, and you can see it's just a creative, happy space for me, right? I love this space very much. This is so pretty. I love the sticker book, the Color Story sticker book, I believe it is. It's really pretty, and this was from the Paris. I bought the sticker books on sale. That's how I roll. I don't buy things if they're full price. I just try not to anyway. I try not to. Then we've got February. So here I did stamping, I did stenciling, I did some marker, some washi. Here I did cut a paper punch, and I did some modeling paste with paint and stencils and other paint. And yeah, I did a lot in here. This was all either stencils or stamps, lots of marker deco. It's kind of a polka dot haven, isn't it? But I liked it. And then this week. So I want to be honest with you. I just didn't. I just didn't. And I know a lot of people like what they call back plan. We're here. So theoretically, I could have done half the week. And I was like, you know what? I can't. I just got busy. Quite frankly, I just got busy. I was working a lot on that devotional. And so, you know what? We're going to talk about having grace with ourselves today. How's that for a segue, right? So we have to set up March, and I want to just get in here now. I use the monthly to plan my videos out for the channel. It's good for me to see it. The only thing is that I do not generally plan too far in advance because, as you can see here, even when I don't plan too far in advance, I end up using correction tape because I like to come to you pretty close to when I'm dropping the video. I don't like it to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to do this way in advance. I mean, if I have to miss a day, I miss a day, but generally I don't. But I want to come to you where I am at this moment. That's it. So I grabbed a bunch of stickers. Now I did for January. Let me bring you in closer. Alrighty. For January, I subscribed to Chrissy Yan Designs. This was the journaling collection. And I used it constantly every week in my mini happy planner. And you can see here, I've got so much left. It's gorgeous. I love it. This was a really good move on my part. I guess this one's pretty much almost, I have that little green, but that's done. But look at this. This is, and I used it weekly. Now I do like white space in my planner. That is a thing for me. So in addition to that, I don't know what I'm doing, but I grabbed some pet tape that I got from Simply Gilded. And then I grabbed some Mojo Jojo plans, the monthly glitter sticker boxes. And I also have some shapes. which I generally use these in my creative journal for memory keeping. I'll drop the latest video below. I didn't do it. I use these for what they call Dutch door spreads, but I thought today we could let's just have fun and chat about kindness and grace and all the things. So first off, before I get in here, what I'd like to do is get this set up. So why don't we start here? And I did see something in here. So I have mentioned on my channel that I had a tougher winter, and that's fine. But now I'm feeling like, okay, we might get more snow, whatever. But I feel like I'm coming into March, means I'm coming into spring. And that in and of itself is a huge deal for me, because I feel like, I don't know, I just didn't feel great this past month. So how did I continue to create? By the way, sorry, I have visual challenges and I often don't get things straight. Anyway, how do I continue to create when I wasn't feeling 100% and remain authentic, which is really important to me. Where I make flubs, you see it. Where I do well, you see it. And I'm good with that, but I also want you to know, like, I'm human. I don't live a perfect life, and I want you to understand that you too have your own trials, your own tribulations, etc. And I want you to be kind to yourself. So I started talking about this with my little Filofax Fest on, well, yesterday. I filmed and posted it yesterday, if you can imagine. You know what? I don't like that there. Anyway, so today's topic is grace with yourself. It's funny how, and I'm going to ask you, you don't have to answer in the comments. If you want to, you can. Excuse me. How many people, yourself included, how many times do you give other people grace, but not yourself? Think about that for a moment. How many times do you give somebody a pass? Oh, well, they're fill in the blank. Oh, well, they're, you know, that's how they are, blah, blah, blah. So my point is that, okay, that may be how whomever you're talking about is. Maybe they're just, they get angry quickly, or they're impatient, or they're slow, or in terms of getting things done, they're not quick, or they're too quick, or whatever you want to say, right? But we give grace left, right, and center, in my opinion. Not always, but a lot of times I think, oh, well, back in the day, I know I sound old, sorry, but, there's this kind of tradition of, well, that's just how so-and-so is, right? That's just how they are. That's who they are. Well, great. But what about you? I know that we are called to do good and to put good into the world. And I'm trying, right? I'm really trying here with this. But I also know that you have to include, as you're putting good in the world, put good into you and give yourself kindness, give yourself room, give yourself space, and give yourself self-care. All of those things. I constantly, my refrain on my channel all the time is what? You matter. And because of that, I want to stop today and just talk to you a little bit about how I'm navigating that, because, give advice out, but you have to follow it. Okay. So really briefly, if you're a subscriber, I have a chronic illness. I have scleroderma. It's an autoimmune disease. Now, when I talk about that, I tell you that not because I want you to say, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I'm good. Okay. It's part of me. It is what it is. I'm good. But what it has done for me, I can tell you what it's done to me, but more important is what it's done for me. And I have learned, sometimes the hard way, that I need to really take care of me. For me, for example, I have to, even at the times, I kind of fell off of it somewhat in January and so forth, but I need to stretch and work out and exercise and so forth, because the moment I don't, I have problems with my muscles, with my skin, etc. So how do I integrate these things when I'm not feeling great? How do I, simple, I slow myself down. One of the things that's helped me personally is that if I get up a little bit earlier and then I have some downtime to kind of segue into my day. I think in part for years I was running so much. I was working full time. I was working part time. I was writing a doctoral dissertation. I was raising my son. It was a lot, right? And this isn't a oh poor me thing. It's just those were my circumstances, right? So the ability now to not have to, I used to pack, oh my gosh, my husband makes fun of me because when we met, I'd be walking down the sidewalk, we met at work, and I'd have my laptop and my notes for class. I was a professor, as was he. And I'd have my lunch bag and my snacks and all this stuff. And he was like, well, you're a curious person, aren't you? I was like, hey, But the truth of the matter is that I needed to take care of me, and I don't know that I always did well enough at that time. Did the best I could given my situation, which was not pretty. I won't go into detail. Doesn't matter. I was in a tough situation. So fast forward to now, where I'm not in that tough situation. Sometimes you have to end situations, relationships, because people are just too bloody toxic. Okay, I took a minute and wrote what I needed to write, getting back on track, looking at maybe an email kind of listserv thing going out, Pinterest, joy of creating. So I used this quote from Boris Pasternak because it's so funky and it's true. And I didn't need a quote about happiness or creativity. Here we go. This one is for all of us because we're all imperfect and that's okay. I don't know why I've been in a Pasternak mood lately. I studied a lot of Russian history, culture, literature, and yeah, here we are. I don't like people who have never fallen or stumbled. Their virtue is lifeless, and it isn't of much value. Life hasn't revealed its beauty to them. So, friend, you and me, we've fallen, we've stumbled, and we have much value to us. And I thought that was a perfect quote for what we're discussing here and now. Okay, this I may just do myself off camera. Let's get into here. I don't know. So back to what I was saying about having grace and this and that. Here's what I did to get through, and I am feeling a lot better. I'm just going to decorate and chatter, and I'm going to try to make this a bit more fun than normal in terms of my colors and so forth. Ready? Let's go. Number one is how do you show kindness to yourself? It's hard. And I'm going to share something that I have learned for what it's worth. I feel my feelings, but I feel that the world writ large doesn't want you to show kindness to yourself. I feel that the world, by and by, wants to do the opposite, in fact, with you. Because what the world wants to do with you is to sell you things because you're imperfect. The world wants you to think you need this book, that book, this program, that program, this influencer, that influencer. The world is constantly trying to tell you how imperfect you are in a negative way. So, per the Pasternak quote, is you're supposed to be who you are. You're not supposed to be perfect because nobody is. And if you're religious, I am religious. Let me focus here a minute to get this right. If you're religious, you know you were born to be perfect in your imperfections. Okay, that's step one. Step two is that we, the collective we, if you will, we all know people, I hate saying this, but it's true. People who feel like they have to tell you how wonderful they are, right? And they've got this and they've got that and they're doing this. And sometimes we all can do that. I mean, I can do that and say, not that I'm wonderful, but I'm doing this, I'm doing that because I'm excited about the things that I'm doing. But I've never meant it as a way to say, well, you're not doing this. I never think that, quite frankly. I just don't. But there are people who do think that way and who want you to think that you're problematic or you're this or you're that. Here's a newsflash. You're not. You are not a problem. The people who tell you that you're a problem are generally the problem. Okay? It's just facts. As my son would say, facts, man, facts. And so when somebody is, telling you how wonderful they are, or telling you this or telling you that, take a moment, take a beat, and think to yourself, I don't know about that. Take a beat and realize that what they're saying isn't necessarily reality at all. And it may not even be their reality. They're just saying it for their own reasons. So the first thing I did this past few weeks was to be kind to me. And so I gave myself rest. I gave myself time. I did all kinds of things, little things. I did go out for tea here and there. I did go out and do this and that. And I did it in part because I wanted to be kinder to me and not feel like, oh, I have to do this. Haven't done that. I really needed to feel like, I don't know, I couldn't keep up with certain things. So the house got dusty, or, my husband had to do the vacuuming and he had to do this. So what? We worked together, right? But in the end, I took time and downtime for me because I needed it. And I didn't exercise as much as I should have, so I've gotten back on that. I kept creating, which is partially how I keep my mind together and focus and happy, because when I stop creating, then I do feel lousy. So I've come to see this as a giant form of self-care, if that makes sense to you. So I was doing that. I was also feeling very much that if I needed to take a day, I tried to work my schedule out, and this isn't always possible, and I know that it's not, but I tried to schedule it so that I had some latitude in terms of creating and so forth. So if I didn't feel up to doing something on a day, I didn't want to do it, because I don't want to ever come on my channel. I don't ever want to write just because I have to, right? That's not what I'm doing here. I don't want to do this because I have to. I want to do this because it's an outpouring of joy and fun and happiness. And you see where I'm going with that. I just felt that for me, I needed to be me and share me with you authentically. And so the times I didn't get things done, well, you know what? I didn't get them done. I also focused on other things besides this in terms of creativity. So what did I do? Well, for starters, I baked quite a bit. And that has been helpful. Maybe it's not your thing. So what? That's fine. You don't have to bake. But I needed to. And so in doing that, I was lifting myself up in a constant way that was making me feel so much better, making me feel more whole, making me feel like, okay, I got this. And at the end of the day, you have to do things that are going to feed and nourish you. And if people don't understand you canceling getting together, if people don't understand who and what you are, well, you know what? They're not going to, if they don't understand, they don't understand. And I think that's a mistake I know I've made in the past, where I think, oh, if I only explain myself more clearly, they'll understand what I'm saying. No, not necessarily. No. If somebody wants to understand you, they'll understand you. And if they don't, they won't. And the other question I have with that is, why do we have to explain ourselves? Do you have to explain yourself to everybody around you? I should think not. Because what's the saying? The people who matter don't mind, and the people who mind don't matter. It's a good one, right? And so I'm just coming on today to do this and to be creative and to have fun, but to also say to you, friends, we've got this. And if you need downtime, if you need to shut the world out, one of my followers, you all are so nice, and you leave me such comments that help keep me going and uplifted. And one of the things that I myself need is to give myself extra kindness, to give myself extra space, because the world isn't always going to do that. And the kindness to yourself really does matter, friends. It just does. I don't know what else to say about it, but I use this excuse the mess I craft here, excuse the mess. I just keep stitching, although I'm not sewing right now. Although that is something I wouldn't mind getting back into. Anyway, I'm just playing. We're just having fun. I just, are there more here that I want to use? These are so doggone pretty. I just feel like this collection is the gift that keeps on giving. Maybe I'll put a few more of these little ones around. So I wanted to come on. I wanted to talk to you about grace. And so, yes, I baked. I read. I gave myself extra time to do some reading, some stretching. Even if I didn't work out as much as I wanted to or should have, I did give myself time for things like stretching, and getting out of the house a little bit more helped me too. Because sometimes even though, you're working, you're going, whether you work at home, you're going to work, sometimes you feel too functional in that loop. You're just constantly work product, if you will. I don't know how else to describe it. I think we're going to zhuzh this up with a few little friends here. So I know they don't necessarily go, but I feel like I need some jasper or some hearts. Let me see here. I did use juniper. Let's just go through these real quick, okay? These maybe, well, I don't know. I have the cats and books and tea. That's definitely me. I don't know that it goes with the brightness. These kind of, actually, let's go with jasper and the flowers, shall we? So anyway, let's make March a month where we're just kinder to ourselves. That would matter to me, to know that you're helping yourself. Maybe I helped lift you up a little bit. That would matter to me. And there's that old saying, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Do yourself a favor and spend less time thinking about things you think you could have, should have, or would have done, if not for fill in the blank. And the reason I say that is because those are really terrible for you mentally and emotionally. They kind of tear you down. And at a time, if you're struggling in any way, shape, or form, you don't need to be down. You just don't. I'm here to tell you, don't pile on. Instead, find ways to curate, and I use that word deliberately, find ways to curate good feelings. So I just blew my candle out because it was, I need to get some more. I started using candles all the time at my desk. Why? Because I just felt like they helped lift, that looks terrible there, helped lift me up in a way that a gray winter day simply brings me down. So what I would do is I would light the candle, sit at my desk, do whatever, and then I would say, okay, now I'm feeling like I can tackle whatever. I mean, it did make a bit of a difference. So it could be candles, it could be aromatherapy. If you can get out, please do so. Money is always an object. I know, believe me, we all know that. So I try to, sometimes I can do a Starbucks tea. Sometimes I can do a Dunkin' Donuts tea. Sometimes I have a coupon for BK and I get 2 for $5 or whatever little treats might help you manage everything on a daily basis. It's important to do these things. Journaling. How could I have forgotten to say that? Journaling has become, probably, I don't know, is it my favorite form of self-care? It might be. It just might be, because I tuck myself away and I just journal. And 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it doesn't matter. It makes a huge difference for me when I do it. And it lifts me up in ways that other things don't. So that's another way. My creative journals. Have you seen my junk journaling? Those little projects, part of the reason I did 2 of them last week was for this reason, that I needed to be lifted up. And so that really did help me in ways that I can't even explain fully, but it did. And so yeah, you've got to experiment with things, and don't be afraid to try something new if you're in a slump to get you out of the slump. Please don't be afraid, because you don't know till you try, and that's kind of important there. All right, Jasper here. I love Jasper. Incidentally, as an aside, I love Simply Gilded stickers. I used to subscribe and so forth. I don't know that I'm such a fan of the pet tape. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that I am. They're okay. If you use pet tape, I'd love to know what you're using. It's okay. Is it great? I don't know that it's great for me. So if you have something else, I'd love to hear it that you're using, or, you know, they're okay. I mean, there's a lot of stickers on here, don't get me wrong, and I love the characters. I especially love the characters, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I got the larger pet tape, that might make a difference. I don't know. All right. It's colorful. There's a lot of white space, which I kind of like. Now I'm going to take a beat here and think about what I need to plan. So give me a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, friends, I took a few minutes actually. This is ready to be lit. So I think I'm going to plan part of the week. So I don't know that I'm going to get the whole thing done. And instead of using my markers, I'm going to use one of my gel pens here. So of course, obviously create and plan YouTube, right? And of course, my Lenten. Okay, my Lenten devotional week 2. Usually on Mondays, this is part of my self-care, depending on my working schedule and so forth. But Mondays has always been catch-up day now. It wasn't always, I should say. But by leaving Monday to be unto itself something, I like, in other words, instead of front loading the week, I ease into the week is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to work 11 to 12:30. That's the time I have. And that was partially why I paused the video so I could see what I've got time-wise. I'm going to put here work. These stickers, I don't know how to describe them. They're not like typical stickers. They're a little thicker, a little more vinyl-y feeling. I kind of like that. Okay. By the way, one of the things I don't do as well is the social media stuff, so I need to work on that. I enjoy posting in my on my page every day. That's fun. But other than that, I don't. I am on Instagram, not my favorite. Oh, wait, let me check here. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So I'm trying to keep track of, you know, what do I want to do here? I'm being a little less specific there. Okay. And here we go. I have a day off. Okay, watching, you don't need to watch paint dry. I did smear this a little, so I have to be careful. It does smear. I didn't realize that. Very simple plans here. Very simple looking ahead to next week. And that is, again, so again, give yourself grace, give yourself kindness. Please, the world isn't always so kind. In fact, I think the world often strives not to be kind. So all the more reason you need to take care of yourself, friends. Please, for me, for you. Let's make a deal. As we go into March, if we're struggling, if we're doing well, whatever we're doing, maybe we need to be a little honest with each other and share those things. I don't think that's such a bad idea, and to lift each other up. It's simple. There's not a lot here, but there's a lot for me here. Incidentally, while I was thinking about and checking my schedule, I did a little decorating in here. So I'm going to have to plan out my videos and what I want to accomplish. And finally, the last thing is I am going to post one of these days in the community page a poll. I'd like to know I'd like to know if you're interested in an email list where I would email weekly, bi-weekly. That'll be, the first poll is about the email list. Then the second poll will be about how often, and just little snippets of things to share with you beyond this, including planning, including faith things, but just bits and bobs, as they say, across the pond. I love that expression. All right, friends, we're good. This looks good. And again, remember this. I wanted to show you this. I didn't get to it this past week, but I'm getting to it now, and that's okay. We let go and we move forward. So please join me, friends. I really appreciate you. Let's have a great month of March. Let's work together and let's do the things and give yourself grace. Give yourself self-care. Give yourself time. All right, friends. Thanks again. I appreciate you. Have a great day, planner friends. Bye now.